All right, there's no body shaming here. In fact, we're celebrating these thick boys and girls as they prepare for the winter ahead. It is a big competition as they vie for the title of the season. And what is that title? The fattest bear.
The fattest bear. I think they all want to win, right? They're all trying to just
you can't lose, honestly.
eat as much as they can. Climate change is actually impacting their ability to fatten up for the winter. We got Mike Fitz joining us now to talk about the competition that's going on. Mike, thanks so much for being with us. So, kind of weigh in. How much weight do these bears usually have to put on to prepare for the winter?
Brown bears can lose a third or more of their body weight during hibernation, so they need to eat a year's worth of food in about 6 months to survive. For some of the really big bears in Katmai National Park, Alaska, that means they might be gaining 300 or more pounds during the course of the summer.
Wow. So Jordan, actually, we were talking about this leading up to this interview. How do they get that fat just off fish?
And how many fish do they have to eat?
It's a lot. If you're a really big bear that can dominate access to the best fishing spots at Brooks Falls, you can sit there and you can wait for your meals to come to you. It's kind of like an all-you-can-eat buffet in that sense. So over the course of the summer, one of the finalists in Fat Bear Week is 747, and he might eat several thousand fish during the summer. But brown bears are omnivores as well, so they're going to eat a wide variety of foods, especially berries in Katmai. And when you can combine the salmon buffet with berries, that's really like the ultimate bear diet.
Now, we all have been talking a lot about, depending on what part of the country you're talking about, but, the Salmon Run. How are the salmon doing when they're kind of working their way upstream? How is their food supply doing there?
Bristol Bay really is a bright spot for salmon in North America. It's really home to the last great salmon run left on Earth. This year, the entire Bristol Bay area, which encompasses most of Katmai National Park, experienced its largest run ever. About 72 million sockeye salmon returned. And that's a stark contrast to what salmon in different parts of North America, especially the west coast of the United States, are experiencing. Many salmon runs in many other places are just hanging on by a thread. Right.
It's good to hear that it's thriving up there, though.
Well, obviously, when you look at some of these bears, I think it is thriving with their food source. So, we have these bears, they eat a lot of salmon, they go hibernate for the winter, and then we get into springtime, and perhaps we have an early warm-up. Does that help or does that hurt the bears?
It may not necessarily help the bears, because if they come out of their dens, during a warm spell, that doesn't mean there's necessarily going to be things for them to eat. Especially in Southwest Alaska, it can take a long time for vegetation to start to green up. Maybe a bear will get lucky. Maybe it'll find like a moose carcass or a caribou carcass or something like that. But usually springtime is a season of starvation for brown bears. So they're eating now, not only for their winter survival, but also to help them get through that early period in springtime.
Can you help clarify, too, when we talk about the hibernation pattern? You've got these bears that are more of a northern latitude. Are they hibernating for several months out of the year versus, let's say, a black bear that lives all the way down, maybe in Georgia or even Florida?
Yes. If bears have access to food year-round, then they don't need to hibernate. Hibernation allows them to survive wintertime's famine. It's not necessarily cold that they're avoiding. It's really the lack of food. So in Florida, for instance, or in Georgia, parts of South Texas, like the Big Bend region, and even parts of California, you can have black bears that are active year-round.
Let's take it back to the competition for a moment. Fat Bear Week.
Who's going to win? 747.
That's a question.
Yeah.
Who's going to win? But, is the competition still open? How can people participate? I've seen all the pictures on Instagram, but is it still going?
Still going on. The second semifinal match is today. Polls are open right now at fatbearweek.org. That's between the mother bear, number 128. She's nicknamed Grazer, versus a young adult female, just with a number 901. And the winner of that match will face the giant 747 in tomorrow's Fat Bear Tuesday final.
That's so cool. I'm so glad we do this because it brings awareness.
Yeah,
to the grizzly bear up there. Mike Fitz, explore.org. Thank you so much for your time. Timely topic, fun topic.
If you haven't looked at some of the before and after pictures on Instagram, I think they do it on all their social media, just showing how skinny they are and then how much weight they gain so quickly.
And then I want to see the photo right after they wake up too.
Yeah.
Because what did he say? They lose a third of their body weight during hibernation?
They're impressive animals. They really are.